Hello again, college football fans, and holy crap. I mean, I said a lot of things leading up to this game and the Iron Bowl preview about how it's the greatest rivalry in all of sports. Well, if you need proof, you should have watched the game on Saturday. I mean, good Lord in heaven. That's my new favorite Iron Bowl, which is pretty hard to accomplish. I guess it probably replaced 2009 at this point, but 2009 was just barely ahead of a couple of others. 1996 I really enjoyed. Saban's first win and Alabama's first win in Tuscaloosa in 2008 was pretty good, even though it was a blowout win, which usually doesn't make these kind of lists. But Alabama normally doesn't get classic Iron Bowl wins. Usually, the Iron Bowl is the Iron Bowl, let's face it, because of Auburn. When people say things like you can throw the record books out the window and you never know what's going to happen, that they're talking about Auburn. In our case, in the Iron Bowl, in the case of the Iron Bowl, Auburn is the reason that it's a classic rivalry. If it wasn't for Auburn winning an unusual amount of these games. When you look at how Auburn's been able to keep pace with Alabama through the decades in this one, it's pretty remarkable considering the different statuses of these two programs. Not to say that Auburn's a bad program. Auburn's one of the great programs in all of college football, but just look at other rivalries. Look at Ohio State, Michigan. Michigan, Ohio State, historically, and I think in the minds of a lot of people, are they're not like Auburn, Alabama. They're two big time historical blue blood programs that win national championships. Now I feel that Michigan's idea of themselves is a little bit delusional when it comes to that, but that's the case up there. But down here, Auburn's the little brother. Auburn, nobody's going to say that Auburn's a blue blood college football program that you always think of. You think of championships when you think of Auburn. When you think of Auburn, you think of the Iron Bowl. And all that being said, I love the Iron Bowl as much, and I have probably more respect for the Iron Bowl than a lot of Alabama fans do these days, because I attend it every year, and I attend it with one of my closest friends who's an Auburn fan. We've been going since 2004. And the only year we've missed, because of a freak family thing that he had going on, we missed the 2015 Iron Bowl. And if you think back, that means that the last 4 times I've been, or the last 3 times I've seen an Iron Bowl in Jordan-Hare Stadium, at the end of the game, I've watched the Auburn fan base spill out onto the field because they just got another classic. The first one was 2013, the kick six. I was there for that. And then 2017 would be the next time we got to go because we had to miss 15. And then 2019, the last time that that I was in Jordan-Hare, other than Saturday, I had to watch Auburn win improbably. Auburn's never expected to win, since Saban's got it rolling at Alabama, but they do it a lot. And Saban was able to even up his record in Jordan-Hare this time and make it 4-4. A lot of people don't seem to realize that, and they always forget it, and we wind up being a 20-point favorite going into Jordan-Hare, and I always think to myself, that's ridiculous. And in my preview, I'm probably one of the few people that predicted this, a low-scoring, ugly game. Of course, my prediction was not nearly as ugly and low-scoring as it actually turned out to be, and but that's the nature of Iron Bowls in Jordan-Hare. The story, Jordan-Hare Iron Bowls managed to tell just the most incredible stories. It's never just a run-of-the-mill, run-of-the-mill hard-fought game. It had to be a freaking classic that almost killed me. But, at the end, I didn't get to scream with exuberance the way I wanted to. I just threw my hands in the air in relief. But after it was over, I realized, oh boy, I've just seen probably the best Iron Bowl that Alabama's ever won. The most classic Iron Bowls are always Auburn victories, because they're usually the underdog. And obviously we weren't the underdog in this game. But when you've been down 10-0 most of the game and you haven't mustered hardly anything on offense at all, and then you've got the ball with 1:35 left at your own 3, you're the underdog. I don't care what it was going in. You're the underdog in that situation. And to see Bryce Young do what he did without hardly any help from his O-line, had lost his best receiver. I mean, as soon as Jameson Williams went out because of the targeting call, I, at that point, was doubtful that we would be able to win that ball game, because I knew it would take everything we had to beat them. It always does. It doesn't matter how bad they are, how bad their record is, unless it happens to be, one of those years like 2012 where everybody saw that coming, in Bryant-Denny Stadium. And this game has just taken it's a different game in Bryant-Denny since Saban got there. It took a while for us to develop a real toehold, a real foothold in Bryant-Denny, but now we own Bryant-Denny when it comes to the Iron Bowl. And Auburn usually owns Jordan-Hare. And that's what I was thinking about 11 minutes to go in the fourth quarter of that one Saturday. I was thinking, well, I guess this is just becoming a home-and-home series. If you're the home team, you're going to win, and if you're the away team, you're going to lose. But we pulled it out of the fire incredibly. Kudos to the defense. I know people will say, well, Auburn was hamstrung with a backup quarterback. None of that stuff matters, man. I mean, and I was told going down there that don't expect any long field goals either, because Carlson had gone out and, they had an inexperienced backup kicker in there. And what does he do? He goes out and kicks a freaking 50-yard field goal in the, toughest of situations in overtime. But that's what you get. That's what you get in Jordan-Hare, and you get Alabama forgetting how to hold a snap for a kick and all that kind of stuff. And when I saw all that unfolding, I was just thinking to myself, well, here we go again. Every big play Auburn had, that crowd got louder, that roar got louder, and I've seen it before. Having seen it the last 3 times I had been in Jordan-Hare, I was resigned to the fact that I was going to have to watch the student section spill out onto the field again. As Bryce was engineering that incredible drive, and I mean, that drive at the end of regulation is as high level as it gets. I don't care that Auburn's record was 6-5. I don't care that people thought that they were a little bit weaker. In that situation, in that game, it doesn't get any more clutch than what Bryce Young did at the end of regulation. And as you can see, I'm still just exhausted. I can barely hold my head up and talk, because my body was completely tense for 4 straight hours. And the traveling down and back and everything, and I'm getting older, folks, and I tell you what, I don't know if I can handle too many more Iron Bowls like this one, but it turned out to be my favorite of all time. And Bryce Young has definitely already cemented himself as one of my favorite quarterbacks. I judge how our quarterbacks play based on Iron Bowls and championship games, and it doesn't get any better. It just doesn't get any better. And if you're an Alabama fan and you're angry about the fact that we didn't play well, and you're worried that we might not be able to stand toe-to-toe with Georgia next week, well, then I don't know what to tell you. If you were angry about what you saw Saturday, especially after how it ended, then you should probably explore other interests, because college football is not for you. Alabama just had one of the most, if not the most, classic regular season victories that they can possibly have. And I'm looking forward to next week. I think it sets up well for Alabama. If there's one thing Nick Saban does not have to worry about going into that championship game against Georgia, is rat poison, because he won't be getting any of that from the media. That's for sure. And I don't know what more I can say about it. I mean, I could say a lot more about it, but you probably wouldn't watch because it would take too long. But roll Tide. I just have to say that. And congratulations to Saban. And I know he was happy to be on the other end of one of those heartbreaking kind of games in Jordan-Hare. It was really fun to see us get to take Auburn's candy at the end. I've had to watch them spoil our party so many times, and usually when we beat them, they've been expecting it all week, and the game pretty much unfolds the way you expect it. The hammer hits the nail, But this week, they were expecting to lose, but by the end of the game, they were not. And we managed to pull that one out. And I'm looking so forward to this next week. And I'll have the review for the final week in the conference and around the nation will be coming out soon. And I'll do a final SEC power ranking. And then we'll preview that big championship game coming up. Thanks for watching.